Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books. I'm sorry that I'm late again today, but the news of the departure of my dear godbrother, Bhakti Churu Swami Maharaj, was quite shocking, and I sat down and I wrote something, and in his honor, in tribute, I would like to read it to you before we begin our readings. Hare Krishna. My dear devotees, may Srila Prabhupada shower his blessings on you. All glories to his divine grace. We've just lost one of ISKCON's most important leaders, His Holiness Bhakti Churu Swami, who succumbed to COVID-19 and the complications it brought on. He departed on the auspicious day of Guru Purnima, which is also the disappearance day of Srila Sanatana Goswami, a befitting day for one who has relished sharing his realizations of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, even before the BBT published Gopi Puranadana Prabhu's translation. His Holiness Bhakti Churu Swami was a symbol of encouragement to everyone to cooperate together in the mood of his eternal spiritual father and friend, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Maharaj spread Krishna consciousness on a level that is rare in the history of Vaishnavism. He was genuinely affectionate to everyone he met. I first met him in 1977 during the Mayapur meetings and festival. I don't remember whether it was his first meeting with Srila Prabhupada, but I've always remembered and relished the powerful first impression I received with the first embrace of many to come from this elevated soul. His embraces, by the way, were very deep and from the heart and elevated the consciousness. I watched Maharaj serve Srila Prabhupada with such tender affection later that year, during the last month of Srila Prabhupada's transcendental pastimes. Maharaj was at once an intimate disciple. Everyone could see that as Srila Prabhupada gave him first, everyone could see that as Srila Prabhupada gave him first, second initiation at once, and sannyasa initiation soon after that, in rapid order, perhaps the most rapid of all his disciples. Love and trust is everything in devotional relationships, and Maharaj's love for and trust in Srila Prabhupada emanated from his every word and deed, as did Srila Prabhupada's trust in Maharaj. Bhakti Churu Maharaj's personal dealings were eloquently refined, spiritually cultured, and were reflections of the loving relationships displayed by Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his eternal associates. We who have borne the separation of Srila Prabhupada for almost 43 years pour out our love and affection to all of Maharaj's disciples in their grief, a grief which is not fully comprehensible to any but those who have lost their eternal spiritual masters. We vow to help you in any way we can bear the grief you are now forced to bear. But we can all cling to the point Srila Bhakti Churu Maharaj repeatedly stressed, that Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON for as long as it exists. By keeping Srila Prabhupada in the center, especially by keeping his books in the center, constantly reading and distributing them to others, we will preserve Maharaj's instructions and legacy in the best way possible. Let us all follow in his footsteps by staying in ISKCON, come what may, and honor the special, undying loyalty he had for Srila Prabhupada's spiritual family, which was, as His Divine Grace put it, our International Society for Krishna Consciousness is one of the branches of the Hare Krishna tree. Hare Krishna. Keshava Bharati Das Goswami. Jai. Srila Bhakti Churu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Churu Swami Maharaj Tirtu Bhav Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Churu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Maharaj translated practically all of Prabhupada's major works into Bengali, which is ironic because Prabhupada was Bengali. Bhakti Churu Maharaj translated Prabhupada's English into Bengali, which was a very, very special service. Okay. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very dear to, is dear to all of us, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj had a special affection for Caitanya-caritämrta, which he passed on to Srila Prabhupada, and then Srila Prabhupada, by his endearing service of translating the Sri Caitanya-caritämrta plus the much of the commentaries of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as well as his own comments, has blessed us with this attachment. Poetic glorification of this great scripture was given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj in a very special way. In due course, Mahapralaya, devastating floods, will inundate the entire universe. If you attempt to survive by swimming in that deluge, then do not neglect to take hold of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. Or, if you cannot hold all three, then release Bhagavad Gita. If necessary, you may also relinquish Srimad Bhagavatam, but under no circumstances release your hold on Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. For if this one book remains, then the flood can do no actual damage, because after it has subsided, the message of Shastra can be revived from Sri Caitanya-caritämrta alone, it being the essence of all Shastra. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityânanda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhaktavinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityânanda Jai Nityananda Jai Nityananda Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. So we've reached the 11th chapter of Ädi-lilä, giving the branches that come from Lord Nityânanda of Chaitanya Tree, devotional service. And we've reached texts 14 and 15. When Nityänanda Prabhu was ordered to go to Bengal to preach, these two devotees, Sri Ramadas and Gadadhar Das, were ordered to go with him. Thus, they are sometimes counted among the devotees of Lord Chaitanya and sometimes among the devotees of Lord Nityananda. Similarly, Madhava Ghosh and Vasudev Ghosh belong to both groups of devotees simultaneously. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, there is a place named Dhanihata near the Agradweep railway station and Patuli in the district of Burdwan, where the deity of Sri Gopinathji is still situated. This deity accepted Govinda Ghosh as his father. Even until today, the deity performs the Shraddha ceremony on the anniversary of the death of Govinda Ghosh. The temple of this deity is managed by the Rajavamsa family of Krishna Nagar, whose families are descendants of Raja Krishna Chandra. Every year in the month of Vaishakha, when there is a Baradola ceremony, this Gopinath deity is taken to Krishna Nagar. The ceremony is performed with 11 other deities, and then Sri Gopinathji is brought back to the temple in Agradweep. Text 16. Ramadas, one of the chief branches, was full of fraternal love of Godhead. He made a flute from a stick with 16 knots. Seems like we read this, doesn't it? We did read this. Anyway, maybe not. I can tell you right off the bat, because I think I wrote it down this time. Yes, it was 1415. Yep, we're right. Srila Gadadhar Das was always fully absorbed in ecstasy as a gopi. In his house, Lord Nityananda enacted the drama of Danakeli. 18. Sri Madhava Ghosh was a principal performer of kirtan. While he sang, Nityananda Prabhu danced. Text 19. When Vasudev Ghosh described Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda while performing kirtan, even wood and stone would melt upon hearing it. Text 20. There were many extraordinary activities performed by Murari, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes in his ecstasy, he would slap the cheek of a tiger, and sometimes he would play with a venomous snake. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Murari Chaitanya Das was born in the village of Sar Vrindavanpur, which is situated about 2 miles from the Galashiv station on the Burdwan line. When Murari Chaitanya Das came to Navadvip, he settled in the village of Modumdvip, or Mamgachchid Gram. At that time he became known as Sharanga or Sharanga Murari Chaitanya Das. The descendants of his family still reside in Sarerpada. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda, chapter 5, there is the following statement. Murari Chaitanya Das had no material bodily features, for he was completely spiritual. Thus, he would sometimes chase after tigers in the jungle and treat them just like cats and dogs. He would slap the cheek of a tiger and take a venomous snake on his lap. He had no fear for his external body, of which he was completely forgetful. He could spend all 24 hours of the day chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or speaking about Lord Chaitanya and Nityänanda. Sometimes he would remain submerged in water for 2 or 3 days, but would feel no bodily inconvenience. Thus he behaved almost like stone or wood, but he always used his energy in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. No one can describe his specific characteristics, but it is understood that wherever Murari Chaitanya Das passed, whoever was present would be enlightened in Krishna consciousness simply by the atmosphere he created. Text 21. All the associates of Lord Nityananda were formerly cowherd boys in Brajabhumi. Their symbolic representations were the horns and sticks they carried, their cowherd dress, and the peacock plumes on their heads. Purport. Janavamata is also within the list of Lord Nityananda's followers. She is described in the Garo Ganodesha Dipika 66 as Ananga Manjari of Vrindavan. All the devotees who are followers of Janavamata are counted within the list of Sri Nityananda Prabhu's devotees. Text 22. The physician Raghunath, also known as Upadhyaya, was so great a devotee that simply by seeing him one would awaken one's dormant love of Godhead. 23. Sundarananda, another branch of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, was Lord Nityananda's most intimate servant. Lord Nityananda Prabhu perceived the life of Brajabhumi in his company. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasha in the Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakanda, chapter 5. It is stated that Sundarananda was an ocean of love of Godhead and the chief associate of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. In the Ganodesh Dipika 127, he is stated to have been Sudama in Krishna Lila. Thus he was one of the 12 cowherd boys who came down with Balaram when he descended as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The holy place where Sundarananda lived is situated in the village known as Maheshpur, which is about 14 miles east of the Majadiya railway station of the Eastern Railway from Calcutta to Burdwan. This place is within the district of Jessore, which is now in Bangladesh. Among the relics of this village, only the old residential house of Sundarananda still exists. At the end of the village resides a Baula, pseudo-Vaishnava, and all the buildings, both the temples and the house, appear to be newly constructed. In Maheshwapur, there are deities of Sri Radha Ballabha and Sri Sri Radha Raman. Near the temple is a small river of the name Vetravati. Sundarananda Prabhu was a Naishtika brahmachari. He never married in his life. Therefore he had no direct descendants except his disciples. But the descendants of his family still reside in the village known as Mangaladihi in the district of Birbhum. In that same village is a temple of Balaram, and the deity there is regularly worshipped. The original deity of Maheshpur, Radha Ballabha, was taken by the Saidabad Goswamis of Berhampur, and since the present deities were installed, a Zamindar family of Maheshpur has looked after their worship. On the full moon day of the month of Magh, January-February, the anniversary of Sundarananda's disappearance is regularly celebrated, and people from the neighboring areas gather together to observe this festival. Text 24. Kabalakara Pipalai is said to have been the third Gopal. His behavior and love of Godhead were uncommon, and thus he is celebrated all over the world. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasha in the Gauraganodesha Dipika 128, Kamalakara Pipalai is described as the third Gopala. His former name was Mahabala. The Jagannath deity at Mahesh in Sri Ramapur was installed by Kamalakara Pipalai. This village of Mahesha, is situated about 2.5 miles from the Sri Ramapur railway station. The genealogical family of Kamalakara Pipalai is given as follows. Kamalakara Pipalai had a son named Chaturbhuja, who had 2 sons named Narayana and Jagannath. Narayana had 1 son named Jagadananda, and his son's name was Rajiva Lochan. During the time of Rajiva Lochan, there was a scarcity of finances for the worship of the Jagannath deity, and it is said that the Nawab of Dhaka, whose name was Shah Suja, donated 1,185 bighas of land, about 395 acres, in the Bengali year 1060, AD 1653. The land being the possession of Jagannath, the village was named Jagannathpur. It is said that when Kamalakara Pipalai left home, his younger brother, Nidipati Pipalai, searched for him, and in due course of time found him in the village of Mahesh. Nidipati Pipalai tried his best to bring his elder brother home, but he would not return. Under these circumstances, Nidipati Pipalai, with all his family members, came to the Mahesh to reside. The members of this family still reside in the vicinity of the Mahesh village. Their family name is Adhikari, and they are a Brahmana family. The history of the Jagannath temple in Mahesh is as follows. One devotee of the name Dhruvananda went to see Lord Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra at Jagannath Puri, wanting to offer food to Jagannathji that he had cooked with his own hands. This being his desire, one night Jagannathji appeared to him in a dream and asked him to go to Mahesh on the bank of the Ganges and there start worship of him in a temple. Thus Dhruvananda went to Mahesh, where he saw the 3 deities, Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra, floating in the Ganges. He picked up all those deities and installed them in a small cottage, and with great satisfaction he executed the worship of Lord Jagannath. When he became old, he was very anxious to hand over the worship to the charge of someone reliable. And in a dream he got permission from Jagannath Prabhu to hand it over to a person whom he would meet the next morning. The next morning he met Kamalakara Pipalai, who was formerly an inhabitant of the village Kalujuli in the Sundaravan forest area of Bengal, and was a pure Vaishnava, a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. Thus he immediately gave him charge of the worship. In this way Kamalakara Pipalai became the worshipper of Lord Jagannath, and since then his family members became the worshipper of Lord Jagannath. In this way Kamalakara Pipalai became the worship of Lord Jagannath, and since then his family members have been designated as Adhikari, which means one who was empowered to worship the Lord. These Adhikaris belong to a respectable Brahmana family. The surname Pipalai is recognized as designating one of the 55 types of upper class Brahmanas. Excuse me for a minute. Suryadas Sarakela and his younger brother Krishnadas Sarakela both possessed firm faith in Nityananda Prabhu. They were a reservoir of love of Godhead. Purport. In the Bhakti Ratnakara, 12th wave, it is stated that a few miles from Navadvip is a place called Shaligram that was the residence of Suryadas Sarakela. He was employed as a secretary in the Muslim government of that time, and thus he amassed a fortune. Suryadas had 4 brothers, all of whom were pure Vaishnavas. Vasudha and Janava were 2 daughters of Suryadas Sarakela. Those were the wives of Lord Nityânanda. Text 26. Gauridas Pandit, the emblem of the most elevated devotional service in love of Godhead, had the greatest potency to receive and deliver such love. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, it is said that Gauridas Pandit was always patronized by King Krishnadas, the son of Harihoda. Gauridas Pandit lived in the village of Shaligram, which is situated a few miles from the railway station Mudagachcha, and later he became to reside in Ambika Kalana. It is said in the Gora Ganodesh Deepika 128 that formerly he was Subal, one of the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna and Balaram in Vrindavan. Gauridas Pandit was the younger brother of Suryadas Sarakela, and with the permission of his elder brother, he shifted his residence to the bank of the Ganges, living there in a town known as Ambika Kalana. Some of the names of the descendants of Gauridas Pandit are as follows. 1. Nrisingha Chaitanya. 2. Krishnadas. 3. Vishnudas. 4. Bhadda Balaram Das. 5. Govinda. 6. Raghunath. 7. Badhu Gangadas. 8. Auliya Gangaram. 9. Yadavacharya. 10. Hriday Chaitanya. 11. Chanda Haladar. 12. Mahesh Pandit. 13. Mukut Roy. 14. Batuya Gangaram. 15. Auliya Chaitanya. 16. Kaliya Krishnadas. 17. Batuya Gopal. 18. Bhadda Jagannath. 19. Nityânanda. 20. Bhavi. 21. Jagadish. 22. Raya Krishnadas. And 22 and a half. Annapurna. The eldest son of Gauridas Pandit was known as Big Balaram, and the youngest was known as Raghunath. The sons of Raghunath were Mahesh Pandit and Govinda. Gauridas Pandit's daughter was known as Annapurna. The village of Ambika Kalana, which is situated just across the river Ganges from Shantipur, is 2 miles east of the Kalana-Korta railway station on the Eastern Railway. In Ambika Kalana there is a temple constructed by the Zamindar of Burdwan. In front of the temple there was a big tamarind tree, and it is said that Gauridas Pandit and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met underneath this tree. The place where the temple is situated is known as Ambika, and because it is the area of Kalana, the village is known as Ambika Kalana. It is said that a copy of the Bhagavad Gita written by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still exists in this temple. We can make maps of all the places from these purports. Go on eternal pilgrimage. Text 27. Making Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda the lords of his life, Gauridas Pandit sacrificed everything for the service of Lord Nityananda, even the fellowship of his own family. Text 28. The 13th important devotee of Sri Nityananda Prabhu was Pandita Purandara, who moved in the ocean of love of Godhead just like the Mandara hill. Purport. Pandit Purandara met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Kadadaha. When Nityânanda Prabhu visited this village, he danced very uncommonly, and his dancing captivated Purandara Pandit. The Pandit was in the top of a tree, and upon seeing the dancing of Nityânanda, he jumped down on the ground and proclaimed himself to be Angada, one of the devotees in the camp of Hanuman during the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. Text 29. Parameshwar Das, said to be the fifth Gopal of Krishna Lila, completely surrendered to the lotus feet of Nityânanda. Anyone who remembers his name, Parameshwar Das, will get love of Krishna very easily. Parameshwar Das. Always remember Parameshwar Das. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, the Chaitanya Bhagavat states that Parameshwar Das, known sometimes as Parameshwari Das, was the life and soul of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The body of Parameshwar Das was the place of Lord Nityananda's pastimes. Parameshwar Das, who lived for some time at Kadadaha village, was always filled with the ecstasy of a cowherd boy. Formerly he was Arjuna, a friend of Krishna and Balaram. He was the fifth among the 12 Gopalas. He accompanied Srimati Janava-devi when she performed the festival at Katari. It is stated in the Bhakti Ratnakara that by the order of Srimati Janava-mata, he installed Radha Govind Gopinath in the temple at Attapur in the district of Hooghly. The Attapur station is on the narrow gauge railway line between Howrah and Amata. Another temple at Attapur, established by the Mitra family, is known as the Radha Govinda temple. In front of the temple, in a very attractive place among two bakul trees and a kadamba tree, is the tomb of Parameshwari Thakur, and above it is an altar with a tulsi bush. It is said that only one flower a year comes out of the kadamba tree. It is offered to the deity. Parameshwari Thakur belonged, it is said, to a Vaidya family. A descendant of his brothers is at present a worshipper of the temple. Some of their family members still reside in the district of Hooghly, near the post office at Chanditala. The descendants of Parameshwari Thakur took many disciples from Brahmana families, but as these descendants gradually took to the profession of physicians, persons from Brahmana families ceased becoming their disciples. The family titles of Parameshwari's descendants are Adhikari and Gupta. Unfortunately, his family members do not worship the deity directly. They have engaged paid brahmanas to worship the deity. In the temple, Baladev and Sri Sri Radha Gopinath are together on the throne. It is supposed that the deity of Baladev was installed later, because according to Transcendental Mellow, Baladev, Krishna and Radha cannot stay on the same throne. On the full moon day of Vaishakha, April-May, the disappearance festival of Parameshwari Thakur is observed in this temple. 1 second. Jagadish Pandit. Jagadish Pandit, the 15th branch of Lord Nityananda's followers, was the deliverer of the entire world. Devotional love of Krishna showered from him like torrents of rain. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, descriptions of Jagadish Pandit are available from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi-kanda, chapter 6, and the Caitanya-caritämrta, Ädi-lilä, chapter 14. He belonged to the village of Yashadagram, in the district of Nadia, near the Chakadaha railway station. His father, the son of Bhatta Narayana, was named Kamalaksha. Both his father and mother were great devotees of Lord Vishnu, and after their death, Jagadish, with his wife Dukini and brother Mahesh, left his birthplace and came to Sri Mayapur to live in the company of Jagannath Mishra and other Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya asked Jagadish to go to Jagannath Puri to preach the Harinam Sankirtan movement. After returning from Jagannath Puri, on the order of Lord Jagannath, he established deities of Jagannath in the village of Yashadagram. It is said that when Jagadish Pandit brought the deity of Jagannath to Yashadagram, he tied the heavy deity to a stick and thus brought him to the village. The priests of the temple will still show the stick used by Jagadish Pandit to carry the Jagannath deity. Text 31. The 16th dear servant of Nityänanda Prabhu was Dhananjaya Pandit. He was very much renounced and always merged in love of Krishna. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Pandit Dhananjaya was a resident of the village in Katwa named Shitala. He was one of the 12 Gopals. His former name, according to Gaura Ganadesh Deepika, was Vasudama. Shitalagram is situated near the Mangalakota police station and Kaitchara post office in the district of Burdwan. On the narrow railway from Burdwan to Katwa is a railway station about 9 miles from Katwa, known as Kaitchara. One has to go about a mile northeast of this station to reach Shitala. The temple was a thatched house with walls made of dirt. Some time ago, the zamindars of Bajavarana Kabashi, the muliks, constructed a big house for the purpose of a temple, but for the last 65 years, the temple has been broken down and abandoned. The foundation of the old temple is still visible. There is a Tulsi pillar near the temple, and every year during the month of Kartik, October-November, the disappearance day of Dhananjaya is observed. It is said that for some time, Pandit Dhananjaya was in a Sankirtan party under the direction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he went to Vrindavan. Before going to Vrindavan, he lived for some time in a village named Sanchada Panchada, which is 6 miles south of the Memari railway station. Sometimes this village is also known as the place of Dhananjaya, Dhananjayara Pata. After some time, he left the responsibility for worship with the disciple and went back to Vrindavan. After returning from Vrindavan to Shitalagram, he established a deity of Gaurasundar in the temple. The descendants of Pandit Dhananjaya still live in Shitalagram and look after the temple worship. Text 32. Mahesh Pandit, the 7th of the 7 Gopals, was very liberal. In great love of Krishna, he danced to the beating of a kettle drum like a madman. A lot of madmen in Lord Chaitanya's movement. Eh? Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, the village of Mahesh Pandit, which is known as Palapada, is situated in the district of Nadia within a forest about 1 mile south of the Chakadaha railway station. The Ganges flows nearby. It is said that formerly Mahesh Pandit lived on the eastern side of Jirat in the village known as Masipur or Yashipur. When Masipur merged into the riverbed of the Ganges, the deities there were brought to Palapada, which is situated in the midst of various villages, such as Beladanga, Berigram, and Sukasagara, Chandude, and Manasapota. There are about 14 villages, and the entire neighborhood is known as Panchanagara Paragana. It is mentioned that Mahesh Pandit joined the festival performed by Sri Nityänanda Prabhu at Panihati. Narottam Das Thakur also joined in the festival, and Mahesh Pandit saw him on that occasion. In the temple of Mahesh Pandit, there are deities of Gaura Nityananda, Sri Gopinath, Sri Madan Mohan, and Radha Govinda, as well as a Shalagram Shila. Text 33. Purushottam Pandit, a resident of Navadvip, was the 8th Gopal. He would become almost mad as soon as he heard the holy name of Nityananda Prabhu. Purport. It is stated in the Caitanya-caritämrta that Purushottam Pandit was born in Navadvip and was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. As one of the 12 Gopals, his former name was Stoka Krishna. 34. Balaram Das always fully tasted the nectar of love of Krishna. Upon hearing the name of Nityananda Prabhu, he would become greatly maddened. 35. Yadunath Kabichandra was a great devotee. Lord Nityananda Prabhu always danced in his heart. Purport. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhyakanda, chapter 1, it is said that a gentleman known as Ratnagarbha Acharya was a friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father. They had been residents of the same village. Ratnagarbha Acharya had 3 sons, Krishnananda, Jiva, and Yadunath Kabichandra. 36. The 21st devotee of Sri Nityananda in Bengal was Krishnadas Brahmana, who was a first-class servant of the Lord. Purport. In this verse, the word Radhe refers to Radhadesh, the part of Bengal where the Ganges does not flow. Text 37. The 22nd devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu was Kala Krishnadas, who was the 9th cowherd boy. He was a first-class Vaishnava and did not know anything beyond Nityananda Prabhu. Purport. In the Gauraganodesha Deepika 132, it is said that Kala Krishnadas, who was also known as Kaliya Krishnadas, was formerly a Gopa, cowherd boy, of the name Lavanga. He was one of the 12 cowherd boys. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Kaliya Krishnadas had his headquarters in a village named Akhaihata, which is situated in the district of Burdwan, within the jurisdiction of the post office and police station of Katwa. It is situated on the road to Navadvip. To reach Akhaihata, one has to go from the Bandel Junction station to the Katwa railway station and then go about 2 miles, or one has to get off at the Danihata station and go there. From there, go 1 mile. It's got detours just in case you get up in the wrong place. You can know what to do. Amazing purports. The village of Akhaihata is very small. In the month of Chaitra, on the day of Varuni, there's a festival commemorating the disappearance day of Kala Krishnadas. Text 58. The 23rd and 24th prominent devotees of Nityananda Prabhu were Sadashiva Kaviraj and his son Purushottam Das, who was the 10th Gopal, Purushottam Das. Text 39. From birth, Purushottam Das was merged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and he always engaged in childish play with Lord Krishna. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasha, Sadashiva Kaviraj and Nagara Purushottama, who were father and son, are described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat as Maha Bhagyavan, greatly fortunate. They belong to the Vaidya caste of physicians. Text 156 of the Gaura Ganodesh Deepika says that Chandravali, the most beloved gopi of Krishna's Text 156 of the Gaura Ganodesh Deepika says that Chandravali, a most beloved gopi of Krishna's, later took birth as Sadashiva Kaviraj. In texts 194 and 200, it is said that Kangsari Sen, the father of Sadashiva Kaviraj, was formerly the gopi named Ratnavali in Krishna's pastimes. All the family members of Sadashiva Kaviraj were great devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purushottama Das Thakur sometimes lived at Sukasagara, near the Chakadaha and Shimurali railway stations. All the deities installed by Purushottama Thakur were formerly situated at Belidanga Gram, but when the temple was destroyed, the deities were brought to Sukasagara. When that temple merged into the bed of the Ganges, the deities were brought with Janavamata's deity to Sahibadanga Bedigram. Since that place has also been destroyed, all the deities are now situated in the village named Chandudegram, which is situated 1 mile up from Palapada, as referred to above. Text 40. Shri Kanu Thakur, a very respectable gentleman, was the son of Purushottama Das Thakur. He was such a great devotee that Lord Krishna always lived in his body. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasha, to go to the headquarters of Kanu Thakur, one has to proceed by boat from the Jikaragachagata station, Jikaragachaghat station, to the river known as Kapotaksha. Otherwise, if one goes about 2 or 2.5 miles from the Jikaragachaghat station, he can see Bodhakana, the headquarters of Kanu Thakur. The son of Sadashiva was Purushottama Thakur, and his son was Kanu Thakur. The descendants of Kanu Thakur know Purushottama Thakur as Nagara Purushottama. He was the cowherd boy named Dama during Krishna Lila. It is said that just after the birth of Kanu Thakur, his mother, Janava, died. When he was about 12 years old, Sri Nityananda Prabhu took him to his home at Kadadaha. It is ascertained that Kanu Thakur was born sometime in the Bengali year 942, AD 1535. It is said that he took birth on the Rath Yatra day. Because he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna from the very beginning of his life, Sri Nityananda Prabhu gave him the name Shishu Krishnadas. When he was 5 years old, he went to Vrindavan with Janavamata and the Goswamis. Upon seeing the ecstatic symptoms of Kanu Thakur, gave him the name Kanai Thakur. I'll read that again. When he was 5 years old, he went to, this is Kanu Thakur, When he was 5 years old, he went to Vrindavan with Janavamata, and the Goswamis, upon seeing the ecstatic symptoms of Kanu Thakur, gave him the name Kanai Thakur. In the family of Kanu Thakur, there is a Radha Krishna deity known as Pranaballabha. It is said that his family worshipped this deity long before the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When there was a Maharashtrian invasion of Bengal, a Maharashtrian invasion of Bengal, the family of Kanu Thakur was scattered, and after the invasion, when Hari Krishna Goswami of that family came back to their original home, Bodhakana, and re-established the Pranaballabha deity. The descendants of the family still engage in the service of Pranaballabha. Kanu Thakur was present during the Kaitari Utsava, when Janavadevi and Virabhadra Goswami were also present. One of Kanu Thakur's family members, Madhavacharya, married the daughter of Sri Nityänanda Prabhu, whose name was Ganga Devi. Both Purushottama Thakur and Kanu Thakur had many disciples from Brahmana families. Most of the disciplic descendants of Kanu Thakur now reside in the village named Gadabeta by the river Shilavati in the Midnapur district. Whew, what a purport. I remember when we read this for the audiobook, it took quite some time to get it right without making any mistakes. Okay, I'm going to stop here. And tomorrow we will finish hearing or continue to hear about the beautiful devotees of Lord Nityânanda in all the places around, and you can almost visualize all these places on the banks of the Ganges, and this Burdwan and Birbhum are very auspicious places. So many Lord Chaitanya's associates and Lord Nityananda's associates appeared in these places. Very auspicious, holy places. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Please, anyone, everyone, someone, bless us with some reflections. Hare Krishna. Nityânanda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Bhakti Chandra Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Vaisheshika Prabhu.
Vaisheshika Prabhu?
He said at the beginning, he wrote beautiful offering, Maharaj. Thank you.
Oh, Vaisheshika Prabhu, thank you so much for being there for all of us. You don't know how much you're inspiring all of us to hear and chant, distribute Srila Prabhupada's teachings, his books especially, and your innovative preaching is, what can I say? You're the Acharya of innovative preaching, and may it go on increasing forever. May you live to be 500, but staying this just like you are. Hare Krishna. Vaisheshika Prabhu ki jai.
Something from Gopal Roy, Prabhu.
Gopal Roy, boy, the saints are gathering around the cowherd boys here.
He says, Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances.
Jai ho.
If I may share something that I read earlier today. In his Vyasa Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Bhakti True Swami writes, quote, "You instructed me to translate your books into Bengali and personally trained me to do that job. Once when you were in Bombay, you even told me, just translate my books and go back to Godhead." Quote, His Holiness Bhakti True Maharaj Ki Jai.
I have another little story. I don't know if you know this, But when Bhakti Charu Maharaj knew that he had to go to the hospital, he had them bring so many Bhagavatams and Caitanya-caritämrta with him into the hospital. Yeah, and he had Prabhupada chanting all the time. He turned the whole place to spiritual world. We read about that in one of the purports. And whenever a pure devotee goes, the atmosphere they create becomes Vrindavan. Not easy to turn a hospital into Vrindavan. All right, who else? Who else is out there? Okay, then, with your permission, I'll move on. Thank you so much, everyone. Please bless me that I can fulfill my vow. See, I was reminded when Bhakti Charu Maharaj got in the COVID-19 and then went to the hospital, I was realizing, he was a little older than I am. I think he was maybe 75 or 76. And when you get to this age, then you get to realize why it is that we're considered what's the word? Well, besides being senior people, we're also vulnerable. We're vulnerable, to this COVID-19. And it's very, very intelligent, very smart for all of us that are this age, while this thing is still spreading and out of control, that we should be very careful about traveling. So, yeah, and very careful who we're with and what we do. So I want you all to bless me that I can complete my vow of recording to the proper standard. I think I've played some samples from time to time of the Caitanya-caritämrta we've recorded so far, of all of Prabhupada's major works, and get them published while I'm still alive. So you can all give me your blessings for that longevity and strength, because once you get past a certain age, it's not so easy to do something like that, because it's very strenuous to actually, record all those books, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. That's a big deal. So thank you very much, all of you, for making my life successful by being out there and hearing. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, after he finished writing Caitanya-caritämrta, now my work is successful because all of you have heard. And he offered his humble obeisances to all of those who hear the Caitanya-caritämrta. You all become worshipable persons. Hare Krishna. Shri Caitanya-caritämrta ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj Tirubhav Mahotsav ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. We'll see you tomorrow, believe it or not, exactly at the same time. Well, give or take 15 minutes, because I'm not a Vaisheshika Prabhu. I'm not superhuman regulated. Right here in the haven of Hythe. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow.